This is video number 3 in the distributive property video series. So in this video, we are going to talk about how we can use place value to break apart 3-digit factors. If you look here, I have a 3-digit factor. And remember, factors are numbers that we are multiplying together to get a product. So we're going to break apart the 3-digit factor in order to model the distributive property in this video. We're going to start with the problem, 2 groups of 215. And first, to break this apart, sometimes we say decompose. Those mean the same thing. We're going to break it apart into the expanded form. 200 plus 10 plus 5. And let me clean up my addition sign there. All right, and I need 2 groups of that. Now, if you remember on that front page, I had a stack of Post-it notes, and it was around the 2 and the multiplication sign. I want you to think of that as 2 groups of. So imagine I've got this big stack of Post-it notes, and I need to pass out 2 groups of to each one of these numbers in my expanded form. So I need 2 groups of 200, 2 groups of 10, and 2 groups of 5. We are going to model this with base 10 blocks. So I'm going to draw a grid below, and over here I have 2 groups of, and then I'm going to write my expanded form down here because I need 2 groups of 200, 2 groups of 10, and 2 groups of 5. So I'm going to start by drawing 100 squares. There's 200, but I need 2 groups of 200. So I'll draw them up here. And now, looking at my tens place, I need 2 groups of 10. There's 1 group of 10. There are 2 groups of 10. And then I need 2 groups of 5. So I'm going to draw my units squares. There's 1 group of 5. Now I have 2 groups of 5. So let's talk about what the partial products are. That means just parts of my product. So in this section right here, I have 2 groups of 200, and that is equal to 400s, and I have 400 squares. If I look at my next section, I have 2 groups of 10, and 2 groups of 10 is equal to 20. Now we're going to move on to our units. I have 2 groups of 5, and that is equal to 10. I shrank our work so that we'd have some more space to work this problem in. Now that I have each of my partial products, I need to find the sum. I need to add them together. So my first one, 2 groups of 200, was 400. Then 2 groups of 10 is 20. And 2 groups of 5 is 10. When I take the sum, I have 430. Now, let's write this algebraically. So we've talked about how the multiplication sign just means groups of. So I'm going to use the expanded form up here. So we thought of 215 as 200 and 10 and 5 all put together. Now we know that's really equal to, now forgive me, I would normally write this over here, but as you can see, I'm running out of space. So I'm going to pretend like this is my the continuation of that line. So we have that was equal to each of our partial products. So let's write those out. So we did 2 groups of 200, we had 2 groups of 10, and 2 groups of 5. Now, if you remember, we have a special symbol that says do this first. And then moving along in our problem, do this next and do that. And those are parentheses. So we need to put parentheses around each of those. Then think back. What did we need to do over here with each of my partial products? I had to add them together. So let's add in our addition signs. So now we have the correct relationship that uses the distributive property. 2 groups of 200. 2 groups of 10. 2 groups of 5. So now you can practice some more problems using 3-digit and 1-digit numbers with the distributive property.